Hey Pokemon fans, Straspy here. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 Team Rocket disguises. These are the best disguises that they've had over the years, not just for how convincing they were, but just how cool they were while they were in disguise. With that, we'll jump right into number 10. In the episode Spinnerack Attack, we get to see Team Rocket disguised as cat burglars. Now, while in this episode they aren't necessarily so convincing as they are just dang cool, it still deserves a spot as number 10 in this list for how awesome they were and how probably the first glimpse of an elite Team Rocket we had seen ever since episode 2 of the anime series. Additionally, their name, the Black Arachnid, that's just a really cool name. I mean, come on. So in the end, they did end up getting foiled and not having the super elite status you'd expect, and they continued to be rather comical throughout the episode. However, it was cool while it lasted, and it's just a disguise that I really appreciated for how they acted while wearing it. Until, of course, Best Wishes series, when they took a more serious approach to the characters of Team Rocket, which of course was promptly dropped again. For number 9 on the list, I decided to include the episode where Team Rocket's disguise actually got the episode banned from everywhere but Japan, which, in my opinion, is actually quite an accomplishment when you consider that's some serious fourth wall breaking. Aside from that, it also showed probably the height of James's cross-dressing obsession from the first generation that was eventually taken out probably for this episode. In the episode All Dressed Up with Somewhere to Go, we get to see Jessie and James use their awesome disguise ability on their Pokemon, entering them in a legitimate contest. They haven't entered a Pokemon in a legitimate contest ever since Jessie turned Meowth into a Sunflora. However, in this episode, Jessie and James, despite their phenomenal ability, never actually get to see if they would win the contest because Jessie ends up stealing the egg before they can do so. I thought that was quite a shame because they probably would have won, but it really illustrates how Team Rocket, the only thing that's holding them back from fashionable success is perhaps their obsession with crime, which is really a pity. But hey, perhaps in the future we'll see them turn to fashion from crime, but for now, Team Rocket appears to be steadily in the crime life. For number 7 on this list, I chose the Punk Rockers, not because it was the best disguise or because it was super convincing. I mean, I did a little double take to see who was who when I first saw it, but it was just cool, okay? Come on, Team Rocket as punk rockers. That's like choice for what career they should have. They should either be fashion designers or punk rockers. That's who Team Rocket should be, not criminals. So that's why I got number 7 on the list, because they went back to their roots. Even if it was for crime, it's where they should be. In the Pokemon episode The Needs of 3 in the Diamond Pearl series, we get to see Team Rocket team up with Looker several times. In one of these instances, they actually disguise as Team Rocket grunts, and they're quite convincing. Now, while this gimmick was originally part of Looker's deal in the games, Team Rocket pulls it off quite well and is quite signature for them in the anime. So it was a quite appropriate nod to the games, at the same time being quite a good use of Team Rocket's skills, actually for good this time, perhaps illustrating the potential for future good in Team Rocket. For number 5 on this list, James actually managed to completely fool me that he was Juan at first, until I realized that Wobbuffet, Jessie, and Meowth were conveniently standing by him, thus giving away his true identity. However, without that, I would have completely fallen for it and believed that this was 100% Juan. An amazing disguise on Team Rocket's part, an amazing scam. I just loved this disguise. It was such a good disguise. His mannerisms and everything were just absolutely perfect. With the exception of the telltale shadows on their faces, Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy disguises of Jessie and James respectively are amazing disguises. I mean, like, no idea if it wasn't for the shadow that they put over their face, I wouldn't have even been able to notice it. I would have been like, oh, it's Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy. But boom. I'm just saying, they don't really need to disguise their eyes of fear of being found out, because Officer Jenny and Nurse Joy seem rather stupid to let them steal it right in front of their eyes. But all that aside, personal opinions and everything, it was an amazing disguise, even if the people they were fooling weren't the smartest. I mean, heck, look, they took off their glasses. They still look pretty convincing right now. So that's just what I have to say about that disguise. Great disguise. Love it. In Sweet Sensation, we get to see Ash battle Eureka, and also we get to see him disguised as Ashley, an alias he uses to get into the all-girl Eureka gym. Well, in this episode, it's not so much that it's an all-girl gym, so much as the fact that Ash was banned for making fun of perfume. Regardless, in this episode, Team Rocket and Ash team up to get into the base for various reasons. Team Rocket as his parents, him as the child, and it's just a really, really cool episode. I loved it, because you got to see Ash team up with Team Rocket to get in. It shows the power of what they're trying to do. It shows that they can be allies when the need arises. It was just really cool to see them cooperate in that episode. However short-lived the cooperation was, and no matter how in the end they ended up fighting each other, it was cool, and plus James managed to get bald for some reason. That's cool. That's cool. And why it's number 3 on this list. In XY episode 29, we get to see Ash and his friends be impersonated by Team Rocket, with even Inkay dressing up as Pikachu. It was a great episode. I mean, like, heck, with the exception of being a huge jerk, they imitated the friends pretty well. I mean, they weren't perfect disguises, and they weren't meant to be. I mean, heck, that would have thrown everyone off if it looked like Ash was being a huge jerk. But regardless, it was a really good disguise. I love the disguise. It felt like the closest that they could get without causing people to feel concerned about Ash in the beginning. Because, I mean, he's a huge jerk, beating up random kids, eating other people's food, and they're just spreading the name. The whole purpose is actually really genius. They wanted to spread around a bad reputation for Ash before he got to the city, while also getting free food and being able to be a jerk without any consequences. It was like a really, really good plot. I mean, heck, even from behind, they look really good. See, look, eating all the food you want, not paying for any of it. Perfect plot. And just from a quick glance, it looks like they're the gang, with the exception of probably Meowth. Still, it's an amazing ploy. I loved it. Probably one of my favorite episodes from the series. It was just such a good episode for Team Rocket. Like, props to you. Such a good plot. Like, I do not know why they haven't done it before. They're probably going to do it later because disguising as Ash, and look, everybody thinks Ash is a jerk now. Props to you, Team Rocket. In the episode, Will the Real Professor Oak Please Stand Up? As the title implies, Team Rocket imitates Professor Oak and DJ Mary, with Meowth being the big-time production boss. This episode, with the exception of Meowth, featured one of the best Team Rocket disguise ever. That is why it is at number 1 on this list. They completely fooled everyone. I mean, no one had any idea. I mean, in the end, they had to, like, figure out, okay, which one of you is actually knowledgeable in Pokemon? It came down to that, because, let's face it, when you have somebody imitating a professor, that's really the only thing in the end that you can use. It was a good episode. I loved it. They fooled everyone, and look, they look like it too. With the exception of a little bit of, like, face for James. James's face doesn't look quite the most Professor Oak-like possible, but I mean, Jessie has a perfect DJ Mary disguise, mannerisms. James looks very much like it. Their voices are so good. It's the top tier what they can do, and it's just great. And then Meowth's signature on top of Wobbuffet design started to come up around now, and it was, I loved it. Like, we later see that when they imitate reporters, Meowth will stand on top of Wobbuffet. I love the Wobbuffet Meowth stack. It's so good. I love it. It's a great episode. It really illustrates the depth of what Team Rocket can do. And of course, they use deception to keep James in the game as Professor Oak. In the end, it doesn't work because, hey, when you have the real thing, it's kind of hard to fool them if you don't also hold a PhD in Pokemon, or whatever Professor Oak holds a PhD in. Actually, I'm not even sure Professor Oak has a PhD. Well, regardless of Professor Oak's credentials and possible scam of selling children fire-breathing lizards and weird fungus wart toads. Anyway, this is my favorite and what I consider the top Team Rocket disguise. Hey guys, Draspy here. So, you may have noticed that you can scroll down a bit, and then you'll see this little thumbs up. You can click that, and then you'll like the video. If you like the video, of course. And then also, if you want to see more videos like this, just a suggestion, there's also this big red button. I mean, depending on the size of your screen or whatever you're looking at this on. And then you click that, and then you're subscribed to this channel so that you'll be able to go to your channels and see it. And then if you want to get notifications, you turn on the little bell thing that shows up after you click subscribe, and then you can turn on notifications. That's how you do that. So, if any of you are confused whatsoever, I've lost faith for you and your children. That being said, please leave a subscribe, a like, a comment, and if you dislike this video, please do dislike it, and then tell me why you dislike it, and then maybe I can address that for the future. Anyway, this has been Draspy. I hope you liked this video. Please post your favorite Team Rocket disguises in the comment section below. Draspy out.